The stories we tell. This poem was created based on my heuristic inquiry research for dissertation and approval for my doctorate in mind and body medicine at Saybrook University. It consisted of the post-session and pre-session interviews of co-researchers where I did an individual and composited graphic of using my creative expression analysis and created at the end a poem that expressed the quoted words taken from these interviews of the co-researchers' reflection on their experience during the 6 weeks of the equine experiential learning at a farm in Bellingham, Washington. I want to thank each and every co-researcher for their diligence and for showing up vulnerable and for trusting us to feel safe enough to be vulnerable and to also to participate in the research to show us how incredible these creatures are in helping us heal. And so without further ado, I want to talk about the topic, and the topic is about the experience of somatic restoration aided by equine experiential learning in healing trauma. The stories we tell either bind or separate us. I am ready to claim the truth in the next step. The horses held me in my humanity with no judgment. Trauma compressed my mind, made me forget, left me ungrounded, lost in the storm I called life. Forced to slow down, I finally saw the chaos I had been living in. I grow weary of fighting sadness, yet when I surrender to it, gloom becomes all I see. My mind lies. I have lived in survival mode, people pleasing to stay alive, blaming myself for all the actions of others. Yet, in a safe space, I felt free of judgment. I learned to ask for support instead of collapsing in fear. Here I stand in the cold, wet rain, drenched in sadness, unsure of my place, my purpose. I long to run, to shut down, to sabotage my healing. My body trembles as I fight the urge to cling to pain, to the safety of what I have always known. For my inner child, I collapse, freezing in place, joining her in her familiar struggle. But somewhere deep within, I know the truth. I have been living a false reality. Then he appears, standing in the rain with me. We stand, separate but together, bound by a quiet understanding. Who will show vulnerability first? A horse locks eyes with me, seeing something I cannot. He exhales slowly, inviting me forward. I stepped into his space. He shakes, sniffs, then he turns his back, not in rejection, but in trust. An invisible thread connects us, speaking directly to my heart. The rain echoes my sorrow, yet within it, I hear a spiritual reminder. Healing is a paradox. Pain and release are intertwined. I thought the horses were rejecting me. In this rain, at this moment, I felt the weight of it. Yet somehow, I began to understand a new language. But they were holding space, honoring the emotions, thoughts, and energies surfacing within me. They taught me to breathe, self-regulate, to honor my boundaries. Their presence supported my nervous system, offering safety for vulnerability. A turn back became alignment. A shake was release. A pause, stillness. A nod, affirmation. Even their manure held a lesson. To release what no longer serves me. Through their quiet wisdom, I learned to trust the unfolding of my process. Their stillness mirrored my healing. In silence, I found space to feel, to release anger, sadness, rejection, and finally, I surrendered. A raw, open connection, free of defense. The horse's breath, his warmth, his trust pulled me in, and I cried. Letting the rain carry my tears, something shifted. For the first time in so long, I felt calm, strong, open. No longer did I need to protect myself. I had come home to myself. I saw that boundaries were not guilt, but self-care. That every slight shift was an invitation to be present. Caring for the horses reminded me to care for myself. The trust they offered me was a gift, and even in their retreat, I found reflection. I began to believe in my worth, in my ability to show up authentically. No longer did I need to protect myself. I had come home to myself. I saw that boundaries were not guilt, but self-care. That every slight shift was an invitation to be present. Caring for the horses reminded me to care for myself. The trust they offered me was a gift, and even in their retreat, I found reflection. I began to believe in my worth, in my ability to show up authentically. The horses did not just teach me to care for others, they taught me to care for me. Through their stillness, their grace, I learned that healing is not forceful. It is not something to conquer. It is gentle, exploratory, a process that allows space for growth, even in discomfort. The horses helped me see myself without judgment. And now I understand. Healing is a journey without end, but it is full of growth, acceptance, and grace.